Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and Klein has two very similar but very different cable cutters. If you look at these, they look almost the same. One's a little smaller, but this smaller one is actually high leverage, and it is not only noticeable, it's a huge difference. The high leverage smaller one is the 63225 for the dipped handle, and the regular is the 63050. You can see that the high leverage is a little bit shorter. Similar handles, obviously, similar design all the way around. One thing is, with the higher leverage, you're going to move the pivot up closer to those cutting knives, in fact, quite a bit closer. And it usually has a little bit smaller capacity. So if I open these up to about the same, right there, the same jaw, you can see the difference. It's noticeable. So why would you want the non-high leverage ones? Well, I don't know. That's a good question. If you have a lot of high leverage cutting to do, that's going to require an even bigger opening. I'd suggest maybe moving up to one of Klein's other tools here for bigger work. Klein does make some big stuff. I still love this 6-pound sledgehammer. But anyway, when cutting with these, it is not only a noticeable difference here, but I did find these are a little bit better, but they are often more than twice the price of the Klein high leverage. And the high leverage and the regular leverage seem to be about the same price, depending where you get them. So overall, this thing is amazing. However, Blue Point fits in between these two. This little Blue Point one here, if I'm grabbing some, I've just got some 12 gauge Romex here. Drop that in. Cuts it quite easily, quite well. Remember, this is my second one. The first one, actually, this is my third one. I had an old one that finally gave up the ghost. I just damaged the teeth or the knives so bad. Got a new one from Snap-on because they warrantied it out, but then the blades wouldn't close. They would actually catch, and I can actually make these catch if I try to bend them a little bit, but I'm not going to. Whereas the Kleins, they take a little bit of effort and grind that little tiny piece down right there, which ensures that the blades seat properly. Whereas the Blue Points, they don't, so if they get off just a touch, they actually collide, and that's what happened to my other pair. It just got too much to work with. But anyway, this is actually quite good. Silky smooth. I can do it one-handed. Wouldn't want to do it all day with these, but definitely works. So then when I go to the Klein high leverage, it's even easier. It's like cutting butter. If I go to the regular Klein cable cutters here, that does take more effort. I'm going to go ahead and do the Klein or the Knipex here. Drop that in. That's just silky smooth. By far the best. However, this is odd. It might be the handles. I don't know. But I have two pairs of these here. One with the 1000 volt rated handles, and you can see the product number is a little bit different. This is still the 63225, but then it's got the RINS attached to the end of it. So, but oddly, maybe, I don't know what it is, but if I put the, that same Romex in there and squeeze, buttery smooth. These are newer than these though, but there is a noticeable difference right there, but not much. It's just, if I had to grab one, and if I put this on some kind of a meter, this one would be just a hair less. But then when you compare that to kind of our traditional side cutters or dikes or something, they take more effort, even though these are the high leverage, long handled ones. These I would use on smaller wire or more precision stuff. These are just brute force cutting. But anyway, there are two different models, and I have seen both of them on store shelves. But unless you know there are two different models, you might not realize that the one you're getting is either the regular leverage or the high leverage. If you have a choice, I really like these, but they're wildly expensive compared to the regular Klein high leverage. So this would be the one I'd suggest right here, the 63225. Now I do complain a little about some things, and I'm going to do it here. This says not for steel or ACSR. understandable, except the way they've got that. When I first saw it, I thought steel or ACSR. I thought, okay, cool, wow, I'm surprised me. You wouldn't think these would be for steel. But you have to get that not 4 in there. And they seem to be pretty sure that that's making a difference. But when you just glance at it, you might not realize that that's what it's saying. They are pretty clear about it on most things, however. This one, it's right there. USA, not for steel, like you're ever going to notice that. Klein, written right up here, do not cut steel. You know, what do we have here? Anything? Guess they're just assuming you know what's going on there. And then the same on these. If you read this real fine print here, not for steel or ACSR, clean after use, etc. What about this one? Right there, not for steel. So you get the idea. But anyway, overall, if you need a pair of high leverage cable shears, these are amazing, especially compared to their, I don't know, older brother that's very similar. So similar but wildly different. And with that, Doc out.